How's it going? This is Hoiman, and today we're taking a look at the Resident Evil 2 remake Leon S. Kennedy figure, which comes with the exclusive version of the game. So here's the overall statue. It's quite big, being 1/6 scale. But even at that size, you can add in a lot more detail and stuff. This is just the back of it. But yeah, before getting to the actual figure, we'll have a look at the box. Normally I keep the figure in the box so I can show you an unboxing. But see, the box itself is really destroyed. Like, the seller who sold it to me did not package it well at all. It was just in like a bubble wrap, and that was it, inside a black bag. So there was no box or anything, so it's just completely smashed in, and you know, I'm not too happy about it, but at least the figure itself wasn't too damaged or anything. But yeah, this is the box itself. So you have it would have had a nice window display of the figure, the logo, and then a back shot of the figure. And on the other side is the front shot. And on the back, this has the logo again, with some nice artwork from the actual game itself. But yeah, the box is just, unfortunately, just badly destroyed, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to keep the box. I mean, is it really worth keeping it? Like, it's going to be really difficult to put the figure back in, and even then it's not going to protect it very much. So looking at the face, I'd say it's pretty well sculpted. It captures the likeness of Leon quite well. And then all the sculpting and texturing is just really detailed. Like, you see all the creases and folds in his clothes. And his RPD bullet vest is more smooth, but it's like textured as well. And then you have his radio transmitter, some cuffs, and then you have his gun and torch that he carries, and also the raccoon force badge. Moving down, you see all the belts and stuff just are very textured and detailed. Gun holster is very detailed as well. You see all the belts going down his legs, and then down to his knee pads. It has like some slight shading as well. And then down to his shoes, you can see all the laces are just all sculpted in. And yeah, just overall quite a nice piece. And there's a lot of paint work done on this figure. There's a lot of paint layers, a lot of shading to bring out all the details. Just overall quite a nice piece. And at the moment of this video, when I got the figure, he's actually quite cheap still. So if you're still after this figure and stuff, then I recommend getting him now before he really goes up in price. Yep, that's the actual figure as well. Very nicely sculpted, very textured and detailed, and just overall captures the overall character pretty well. Let's move on to the accessories. So for accessories, he comes with his gun, which is nicely sculpted, but there's not really any detail on it really. In terms of paintwork, it's just one solid silver. And the plastic used is actually quite flimsy. Like, to be honest, it kind of feels a bit cheap. But I think overall it gets the job done. I think it would be nice if there was some sort of shading and texture, well, not texture, but just some highlights and shading. Since the figure itself has a lot of shading, when you attach the gun it kind of stands out a bit. But I don't know, maybe that's just the point. But overall, nicely sculpted, but it feels a bit cheap. And it's kind of the same for the torch as well, so it's a simple sculpt with little paintwork for the light itself. It's just one silver. And again, it feels a bit cheap, like it's very flexible and stuff, but once the figure is holding it, it looks pretty nice overall. And then finally we have the display base. So it's pretty much just pretty standard. It's hollow inside, and this is the top, which has the logo as well of the police force, the raccoon force, sorry. But overall, I'd say the condition of it, I don't know if it was because it was damaged in the packaging or not, but I don't know, it just has a lot of like scuffs all over. It looks like it has a lot of like brush marks here and there, and it just makes it really like uneven, if that makes sense. It's not just one solid black. It just looks really scruffed and stuff. I don't know, maybe just mine is like that because of the poor packaging, but I guess it's just something to look out for. And then you have the pegs as well, where Leon can attach to. And then on the front you have the name of the character printed in sort of a matte gold, and it's embossed as well. So there's a texture to it. And overall it looks quite nice. But again, the plastic used on the stand feels really cheap, like it's not really high quality plastic or anything. It's just feels cheap, I guess. This is the best way I can describe it. But overall, it gets the job done. It still makes for a nice base. Like the sculpt is all embossed in the base. But yeah, overall, it's quite cheap. But once the figure is on there, it makes for quite a nice display. And then on the back, it's not really an accessory, but the radio transmitter can actually be removed. But it's attached to this wire, so you can't remove it entirely. But I guess it's just kind of cool that you can do that. But yeah. So for the final thoughts of this figure, overall the figure looks nice. It's nicely sculpted, a lot of paintwork, a lot of detail, not a nice shading all around, and just makes for a nice piece to represent the character really. But I guess I didn't mention this before, but like the accessories and base, the plastic used for the figure itself doesn't really feel high quality, if that makes sense. It feels not cheap, but not necessarily the usual high quality PVC plastic used on, you know, your usual high quality Japanese collectibles really. It just feels not like super cheap, but just cheapish, if that makes sense. It's kind of difficult to explain, but for collectors, I'm sure you know what I mean. But overall, it's a nice sculpt, nice paintwork, good representation of the character. And yeah, if you're a huge fan of the game or this character in general, then I guess I can recommend getting this figure. There's not really that many Leon figures out there to get, especially on this design. So if you're after this design specifically, especially for the remake look, then yeah, I can recommend getting this figure. And like I said before, at this moment of this video, it's actually still quite cheap online. You can get them online for like £30 or less. And that's how much I got this one for. So if you're after him, I recommend you get him quickly before his price really skyrockets. But yeah, that's my review on this figure. Thank you for watching and enjoy some pictures.